Today we have a comparison between Kawai's CA series, the CA49, their entry-level price point, and the CA99, their flagship, the most expensive, all the bells and whistles. And we're going to be talking about which one might be right for you, and is the most expensive one worth it? Is the CA49 the best value in the price field of less than $3,000? Stick around, we got a really fun video for you.
Hi, this is Ted with Alamo Music Center in beautiful downtown San Antonio, Texas.
I'm Patrick Marr. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We appreciate your support and we love to interact with you. Well, Ted, first, the CA series has really made a big splash recently in the last five years. I would say it has. If you look at piano forums, if you look online, it really has started to rival, the kind of the king of this atmosphere, the Clavinova series from Yamaha, and with good reason. They're great instruments. And so, right before we start this video, if you haven't gone out and played a CA series, we highly recommend going and checking them out. We do have stores in San Antonio. We have a store in Austin under the Alamo music name. We also have locations in Kansas City and St. Louis. Those are going to be under Kawai Piano Gallery. If you go to, if you're in Michigan area, we have one outside of Detroit Metro. And we have one in Traverse City. Those will be Kawai Piano Galleries of Michigan. And then we're also, as of today, opened up in Ohio and Columbus and Cleveland. If you're in the areas, there will be Kawai Piano Galleries there. And those are all part of the Alamo Music family. So really excited to have those stores and have available Kawai there.
I'm ready. Road trip. Got to go inspect.
We got to go do videos at each location.
Do videos.
We did a video up in the Detroit store not too long ago on the SKEX, the 9-foot Kawai. We did it on a Bosendorf for 9-foot, and then we did one on a little old Wurlitzer electric piano. But talking about the SKEX, that's one of the main features of the CA series that makes it a shining spot.
Well, they put that piano sample into the concert artist digital line. Mm-hmm. And, I'm fresh out of the Kawai school out there, and we had that clinic out there in San Pedro, California, and I refer to it as the Kawai Correctional Facility because they teach you how to retrain the salesman and how to get back online. And the digital product is I learned a couple of things, and one thing that is absolutely true. In every price point, no matter if it's 500 and under 1,000, under 1,500, 2,000, but at every price point, Kawai digital pianos are the absolute most competitive in terms of two things. Just the way that they play, the overall touch, and the overall tone. And you seem to get the biggest bang for your buck out of the Kawai digital pianos. And I don't say that because I just got, re-educated out at the correctional facility, but the idea is that when you take one of their digital pianos in any price range and compare it to what else is there, it's hard to say that something else actually plays better and sounds better than that. They do deliver a lot.
Yeah, and when you're in this price range, there is a lot to offer. And I think most manufacturers, and we primarily have the Yamaha Clavinova line, the Kawai CA series, but they really deliver at their price point. And it's like, they're trying to, there's not a bad product, but which one's better is always like that hard judgment call. We always recommend people trying both because it is, there's something to be loved about each one, but specifically the CA series has been kind of a home run.
Yeah. See, a lot of people don't, in order to recognize it as a home run, I'm sitting here stewing right now. When you started talking about digital piano, I'm thinking, I have to admit this, I paid $3,000 for the very first Clavinova that came out. It was a CLP, I think it said 175 or something like that. I don't remember the exact numbers. But it had 3 pianos, muddy, not so muddy, and overly bright. And there was an 8-bit sample machine. $3,000 in 1980, it would have been 87 or 88. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money, and it had one sound effect in it, stereo symphonic. And they called it Clavinova tone. It was something that just made it wave a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think back on it now, and I was so happy to have it, and I learned so much piano literature off that thing. it doesn't come anywhere near what the map is on at least a CA49. This thing has a real action and it's got real 9-foot sound and it's individual key sample. I mean, what you get for the money now is compared to, of course, this was 87. A lot has changed in that time. People were born, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm thinking how much more you get for your money now, and that what would the equivalent of a new, there hasn't been like a new type product for piano, probably are in digital pianos since the invention of bringing on the hybrid with the soundboard, which is what I love about the CA99.
Yeah.
That it has that soundboard in it.
And so, yeah, so the CA49 really is their introduction to their CA series. And what's cool about the CA series is, you know, wood keys all the way throughout. The action does change as you move up. And the CA49, it's the Grand Feel Compact, which is kind of their entry line or entry action to their CA series. But as you move up to the CA79 and 99, you do get the Grand Feel 3. And so, you know, the biggest difference is going to be not only key length in those, but the counterweights that they add on as the addition as you move up to the CA99.
Well, see, that CA99 is the only digital piano on the market that has like around a normal size key and actually has all of the working components of the hammer and action on top of the key instead of underneath, which is how almost all the competitors, it's the only one that really has it on top. So that there actually is a different type of moving, whereas opposed on some of the other competitors' manufacturing process with digitals, they put it underneath, and then if it is anything on top, it's a real piano action, which Kawai has as well.
Yeah, the NV5 will have the full upright action. And so, yeah, so the key difference in these two is going to be, you know, you get a longer key, a little bit more control, I would say, with the CA99. The CA49 has a great action, wood keys, you get the vibration through the wood keys, which is nice. The sound engine also is a little bit different on the CA49 from the CA99. They progressive harmonic imaging is what they call.
It's a lesser cost sample that goes into the CA49, and if I had a criticism, and I know it would adjust the price, it would be to put that same sound card into the CA49. I don't know that it would respond the same way because the other actions that have that CA99 sound card would be like the NV5. I think it's very similar and to the CA99, but the CA49 does have a little bit reduced polyphony. There is some bit of not quite getting as much as what you get out of the CA99.
And so explain, polyphony is how many continuous notes can be played at
one time. So like on a piano, for example, what is the maximum use of polyphony on an acoustic piano? Well, it should be all 88 keys ringing at the same time. And that would use up a lot of memory. But how long would those keys ring? And the only way you could really do that on a piano would be to hold down a sustain pedal and double finger and go all the way up or all the way down on the keys so that they're all sounding. But these guys are going to get chopped off because there's no real sustain or duration to the top end of a piano. And so they're going to drop off, and most of the sound is going to be in that lower range. And that's where most of the polyphony gets sucked up at. If you do an arpeggio with an open, with all the dampers lifted, the sustain pedal all the way down, every single note you hit, if you go through, you hit like 12, 14, 12, 14, 12. Pretty soon, when you double that, because it has to be in stereo to get the left and right samples, you start chewing up maximum polyphony real fast. And
so there's 192 note polyphony on the CA49, which is, you know, and 10 years ago, that was maximum polyphony.
That was the most you could get.
And now there's 256. And so that's on the CA99. But yeah, so I mean, so a little bit extra there on the CA99, you do get the 256 note polyphony.
And they do prioritize it so that the first, if it's the lowest one, it hangs there as long as it possibly can. They all have time durations in them.
Yeah, and you know, with technology where it is, one of the cool factors of both of these instruments is what I would say the modeling software that goes along with the sample.
Oh yeah, you have 17 different kind of adjustments on the CA49, and there's even more on the CA99. But those are virtual technician adjustments where you can essentially pull the action out of this virtual piano and make any adjustment, even on certain keys. If you're doing a song that favors like all the low Ds and the As some way, you can specialize those notes.
And And
And
I think it's fun because, like historically, a lot of people who think of digital pianos, they get excited about all the different voices in the instrument. So they're like, okay, well, it's got saxophones, it's got guitars, it's got drums. This makes it cool. And what people have, I think what manufacturers have picked up on is a lot of people spend most of their time on the piano instrument. In like the first clavinova that you buy, it had 3 pianos in it, and
Yeah.
a lot of focus. And so the first solution was, well, let's just do a whole bunch of different piano samples. We'll have honky tonk piano, we'll have
Right.
upright piano, we'll have bright piano, we'll have. And so they tried a whole bunch of different piano voices. And to some extent, there's still on a lot of these newer digitals, there's still probably 5 to 10 different piano voices in there, but making the main voice, making it making it sure it's a rendering. And so Kawai does this with their SKEX rendering, and they not only have sampled their most expensive best instrument, but they've added all this technology around it that says, well, what if you change the room size? What if you change the action? What if you change
Right.
the voicing? What if you change the resonance depth, the pedal? What if you can change all that? You're really making that instrument more unique to you.
Yeah, so when you get it in your house, you can find which parameters make it sound as the best sounding piano for that room.
And so one of the coolest things about the CA99, you touched on this, is the bridge of hybrid technology.
Oh, that's the nicest thing about it.
And they've done this. I think they started on like the 98 right before it, but they put a soundboard in the back of the CA series, the 99, which really kind of separates it from the rest of the CA series. It's really starting to become more than just a digital instrument. It's becoming more of a hybrid instrument.
Right.
And so that wood soundboard on the back, which is spruce, like on an acoustic instrument, is going to have a lot of resonance. It's going to be where a lot of your sound is going to be, that sustain is coming from. And they do that with transducers on it.
They have a bunch of transducers on there, and they get that soundboard to vibrate just like it does on a real piano. And the nice thing about it is it's built into a really nice cabinet, just like most pianos are. And when you have your feet on the pedals and you're playing that thing, you can feel it vibrating just like a real natural acoustic piano does.
Well, yeah. So let's take a listen to the CA49, the CA99 right now, and we'll take a listen to the differences in the sample, since it is on one it's going to be the harmonic imaging, on the other and it's the XL, and the other one's the progressive harmonic imaging. So there is a difference in the two samples. We'll listen to that, and we'll be playing.
And there's a difference in the actions. There should be an obvious difference between these two pianos.
And so we'll talk about what we're feeling as players, and then what we'll be hearing as from some of that sample. So
super. Patrick, tell me you could tell the difference between those two pianos.
Well, what's super noticeable when you're in the room is just the amount of wattage difference between these two instruments. And so on the CA49, it's about 40 watts of power. And so you get, the 220-watt speakers, which is pretty loud, pretty present. But when you move up to the it's a 3 two-way system. So 6 speakers, and they say about 135 watts. I think it maybe is a little bit more.
It is, but it's powered. This is the main, it's powering a soundboard. So that whole soundboard is moving a lot more air. The vibrations, you hit it right. The power is the vibrations are much more stronger, and they kind of get into your bones on the CA99.
Yeah, so that's really kind of a big difference between the two. You sitting there controlling, I couldn't help but think switching voices was very different between these two.
It is, because obviously one is more fun to play than the other. You get the touch screen and you get the picture, and it's got all the little images and stuff, as opposed to the CA49. It plays and sounds great for what it is, but it's not like all the bells and whistles.
Only 19 voices on.
Yeah, limited voices, and it's not a boomer like the other one. I mean, it still sounds great, but it's not a cabinet that your neighbors will call and complain.
Yeah, and the CA99 has almost 100 voices on it.
It has all those extended voices on top of the rendering voices. I think they've got like 10 or 12 excellent piano voices, and then about 80 or 90 something
their
harmonic imaging voices, which are really great.
Yeah, cool electric pianos, strings,
super sounds. I mean,
organs.
Really good sounds, and they're EQ'd and toned great. There's no added cheap effects, although you've got up to 20 effects on the CA49 you can add, I think, and there's even more on the CA99.
And then you can record up to 10 songs on the 99 with a 2-track recorder. On the 49, it's just, I think it's a 2 or 3 track, or 2 or 3 tracks that you can record, and it's just a single track
and
recording.
They both come with great set of headphones to them. That's the other thing, is they include really good quality headphones, which is something that Kawai is really, really proud of, is they understand that their instruments are used primarily by people that generally appreciate piano a little bit more and take piano a little bit more serious. That's the only thing they manufacture are pianos. And for that reason, I just think that both of these instruments are great. The thing to bear in mind is that they're in different fields of cost. I mean, it's a different demographic for each one of these. And there's some in between the CA49 and the CA99. They have 2 other instruments.
The 59 and the 79 are between, which have been harder to get recently, and so they did kind of double down on production on the 49 and the 99. But yeah, there is the CA59 and the CA99. Kind of expands controls as you move up to the 59, bigger speaker system, more voices. The action stays the same. The 79 upgrades to the Feel 3, the Grand Feel 3, has the touch screen, but does not have the hybrid technology, that soundboard on the back. But yeah, the big price jump between these: $28.99 for a CA49, $62.99 for a CA99.
Yeah, but I remember what I said when we started shooting this video. I thought, if they made that thing only in polished ebony, it would probably sell just as well. But it does cost almost $1,000 more just for the look. But I think it's worth it.
It's
if you're putting
cool.
this thing into a venue or a bar or a really dominant spot in your house where you want to show off something modern and cool looking, the polished ebony looks exactly like a real upright piano.
Yeah, and a lot of people come up to the CA99 and polished ebony that we have, and they go, "Oh, this is a cool upright piano." They immediately think it's a full upright,
a real upright piano,
acoustic. So if you've had the opportunity to play the CA49, the CA99, if you've owned any of the predecessors of the Concert Artist series, please leave comments. Let us know. Let people know I loved it. This was my experience. I wish they only did this differently. But please leave your experience, because I know a lot of people are looking for either their first instrument or maybe sometimes upgrading themselves to getting something a little bit more professional. Both these instruments are great values in their price point. I would say they're very different instruments. And we wanted to highlight that here, the kind of the bookends of the CA series. Really cool instruments.
The only other thing I have to say is, if you've got a budding musician or one of those teenagers that's driving you nuts practicing, take them in the store, have them play a CA series by Kawai, and if they don't have one, you'll get some peace and quiet in your house, and they'll be playing about 3 times as much as
it's true.
It's just a whole world in and of Music, the artistry of the invisible, what you can't see but you hear. It's just wonderful.
This is Ted Barstow. I'm Patrick Marr with Alamo Music here in Texas, but we do have locations throughout the country. Make sure you check out a Kawai Piano Gallery near you, or come see us here in Texas, and we'll see you next time.